Alright, today we're going to be installing inserts on a pair of skis here, and I'm doing it so I can swap my SollyFit plates on and off these skis so I can get testing on SollyFits, Dynadukes, and whatever other new products are coming down the pipeline. So what you're going to need here, a pair of skis that's got bindings mounted on them. I like to have the shop mount the bindings with a jig, or if you're good with a paper template, mount the bindings normally first, and you probably even want to ski them. Make sure you got everything in the right place. What you'll need are the basic insert installation tool kit, which has a tap, an F-size drill that's just a little bit bigger than a 1/4 inch drill, and a 1/4 inch will work fine for you if that's all you have. And I've got a pack of 24-hour epoxy. You want to use the good stuff. Don't no 5-minute epoxy here. That'll get crack and get brittle over time. Okay, so I mounted my plumb bindings on here, and I did that so that I could just triple check that the bindings were mounted perfectly, and my center line was correct, and everything lines up correctly. So now that I've done that check, well, now I know my bindings are in the right place, so I can go ahead and remove the bindings. What we're going to do is use the old holes so that the inserts go exactly in the right spot. So today I'm going to be putting in inserts just for the toe pieces here. So I've got my plates off, and you can see I've got holes already in the correct locations. And so what I'm going to do is go ahead and drill those holes out for inserts. Your goal here is to get this perfectly vertical. So what you're going to do is you can take this drill bit, you're going to let it follow that old hole. You can line it up, and there you go. Alright, that hole will just follow the old hole quite nicely. Alright, I like to use a countersinking tool to just clean the burr off of these holes after I drill them. I just do it by hand. You could obviously put this in the drill and spin it up. You don't want to take a lot of material off, you just want to clean off any of the hanging pieces. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and cut threads in these holes so the inserts can be installed. We use a thread cutting tap. It's got to be a bottoming tap, and it's a 5/16 by 18 thread. Alright, you want to get these threads cut cleanly and straight, and it wouldn't hurt to practice once or twice if you haven't done a lot of thread tapping. So you want to make sure obviously you're straight. I use one hand to guide the tap and the other to turn. I'm going to apply a little bit of downward pressure as I cut. You'll notice I chose to clamp the ski to the table. It just makes it a little bit easier, one less hand to do things. Alright, you'll feel when the tap kind of hits the bottom, gets a little extra resistance. I'm going to back it out. Remember, you got to keep it straight all the way, even while you're backing it out. It's the easiest, the most likely time to mess up the threads is on the way back out. Okay, now I'm finished tapping the holes, got threads cut in them. I'm going to go ahead and take the skis and clean them out because you tend to get a little bit of dust packed in the bottom there. And that'll make it a lot harder to get the insert in all the way. Alright, now it's time to prep your inserts. And these have a slot in the top, and you'll see that slot's perfect for matching up to a screwdriver. It makes it much easier to install them. What I like to do is I go ahead and put them in dry, just because I'm all about triple checking. and then I just look that they match really nicely with the bindings. Alright? If you don't want to take the time to do that and you're comfortable that the hole's in the right place, no need. But I got them in here dry. The other thing I want to mention at this point is you want to make sure your inserts are nice and clean. You want them free of any kind of oils or anything. And I like to just mix them around in a cup of soapy water. Just 5 minutes in a soapy water and mix them around a little bit. Pull them out, let them dry. Just make sure that the epoxy will adhere really well. You could even use some rubbing alcohol and a Q-tip or something. Just clean the outside of them. Alright, I just dry fit the inserts. I'm going to take the binding and I set it on here. You could even put some screws in, but I can just visually see they're perfectly in the right place. So I'm going to go ahead and get ready to mix up the epoxy. I use these little packets of epoxy. It's just easy to measure it out. You get the perfect ratio, and it's just about the right amount for about, I'd say 10 to 20 inserts. So I use a little piece of cardboard, tongue depressor, and I like to have a matchstick, wooden matchstick around, because it really helps get the epoxy down into the holes. Alright, again, no 5-minute epoxy. We're talking good quality epoxy, at least 24-hour cure. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and use the matchstick and get a little bit of this epoxy down in every one of the holes, alright? Try to get it worked down in there. Alright. Start by hand. You'll notice epoxy kind of bubbles up around the edges. Don't get too into that there. You don't want it to fall down into the internal threads, because then it'll kind of get in the way of the screws you're going to put in later to fasten the binding. So just let it bubble up around the sides and just let it kind of sit there. Got them in there all the way flush. I'm going to do the last 4 here. Okay, so there you have it. You've got inserts in the skis, and now you can use machine screws to swap your bindings back and forth. Last thing I want to say here is that you've got these in. Now the last most important thing is leave the skis in a warm place, okay? It really helps the epoxy cure. So you want to leave them inside, maybe by the heater vent, in front of a light. I like to use my halogens and just kind of shine the halogens on to keep it warm. So that's install the binding freedom inserts.